This morning, I was on the Glenn Beck program, and Glenn and I had an interesting, brief debate about Bill Maher, the HBO comedian. Glenn is liking what he's hearing from Bill Maher. I'm not so sure. We came at it from two different perspectives. Glenn talked a bit about how he was a Trump critic and then pivoted to being a Trump supporter and talked about how he was criticized when he was a Trump critic and he was criticized again when he turned and pivoted to a Trump supporter. I think there's a big difference, obviously, from Glenn Beck and Bill Maher. Bill Maher is not pivoting, in my opinion. Bill Maher is doing a cash grab. A total cash grab. People are celebrating, and I was someone initially who was celebrating Bill Maher for being open-minded and a liberal that I could tolerate. Now I'm far more suspicious, and so we'll talk about the great awakening of Bill Maher on today's episode of Fearless. Welcome to Fearless with Jason Whitlock. I'm Jason Whitlock, your host. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. We have a great show planned for you today. We're going to spend some time talking about Bill Maher, and we're going to spend some time talking about the rapper, Cameron, and a train wreck interview that transpired on CNN last night. But before we do any of that, I want to tell you guys about extra fearless content on Blaze TV. Go to blazetv.com/fearless. Use my promo code fearless, and you can save $20 on your yearly subscription. You can get extra content like today's version of Extra Fearless. Shamika Michelle and I will have a conversation that only Blaze TV subscribers will have access to. We're going to dissect Cori Bush, the politician out of the St. Louis area. She put together a 2.5-minute video celebrating what would have been the 28th birthday of Michael Brown. You remember Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot, the 18-year-old that tried to wrestle a gun from a cop and got shot and killed. Cori Bush did a video on that, celebrating and Michael Brown and talking about what a crime it is and how racist police officer killed him. Shamika and Michelle and I will have something to say about that, but you'll only be able to see it if you're a Blaze TV subscriber. Check out that extra fearless content by subscribing to blazetv.com. Use my promo code fearless for $20 off. As it relates to today's episode, we want to thank our great friends at Good Ranchers. Use my promo code fearless at goodranchers.com. And with your subscription, you can claim free American Wagyu burgers for a year. That's a $400 value, and you get the additional opportunity to support veterans this Memorial Day season. Make sure you're thanking our good friends at Good Ranchers. They make this possible. Great sponsors like Good Ranchers who share our values and allow me to do what we're doing today. And today, I've got a fire starter on Bill Maher, the HBO comedian. Let's get it rolling. The problem with comedian Bill Maher is he swallowed the green pill and rejected the red one. The green pill, capitalism, is only effective when taken in combination with the red pill. Greed fuels Bill Maher's outreach to political conservatives, not moral clarity or cultural enlightenment. He's Gordon Gekko from the movie Wall Street. He's absent religious conviction. Maher has succumbed to the religion of money and its ability to solve all problems. Let me quote Gordon Gekko. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Greed in all its forms. Greed for life, for money, For love, knowledge has marked the upward surge of mankind. And greed, you mark my words, will not only save Teldar Paper, that's the company from Wall Street, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA. That's Bill Maher. He's Gordon Gekko. Have you seen the movie Wall Street? If you have, you would recognize that, and you would recognize what Bill Maher is doing. Now, let's be clear. I find Bill Maher entertaining and tolerable. I just don't find him trustworthy or particularly authentic. Monday night, the HBO talk show host participated in Greg Gutfeld's nightly roundtable on Fox News. The cross-pollination between conservative and liberal comedic pundits was hailed as a big moment, a thawing of the ice among political rivals, a further burnishing of Maher's brand as a common-sense leftist. Problem is, Bill Maher is not a common-sense leftist. There's no such thing. It's the equivalent of calling me a low-calorie, obese person. It's not true. Maher is a common-sense businessman. He's Republicans buy comedy show tickets too. He wants to be the Michael Jordan of joke cracking. So, with a new book to sell, Maher joined Dr. Drew, Kat Timpf, and Dana Perino on Greg Gutfeld's set and repeated his middle-of-the-road, surface-level talking points. Take a listen.
Like, we are polarized. I don't think we can deny that. The point is that we can also be friends. That's it.
Right.
We can't. Let's not pretend that these disagreements are not profound. Mm-hmm. Let's just say, okay, they are profound, but you know what? There's 90 other things we could talk about which we wouldn't disagree on. And I can't hate you. I've said it a million times. You can hate Trump. You can't hate all the people who like him. Mm-hmm. It's half the country. Yeah. And I am certainly not blind to Donald Trump's faults. I get it. Why people choose to vote for him. Mm-hmm. Somebody who's conservative once said to me, what you don't get, you liberals don't get about Trump is that we don't like him either. Mm-hmm. We just see him as a bulwark against the nonsense on the left. And I understand that because there is a lot of nonsense on the left, and that's in my book too.
All right, so I want to translate that and why I disagree with it, because it sounds good, and I understand why Greg Gutfeld's audience applauded. Oh, it sounds good, it feels good. Oh, we have profound differences, but we can be friends and I don't have to hate you. And all of that is true. All of that is true. But the differences are so profound that while I can love you, I can acknowledge like, whoa, our differences are along the lines of good versus evil. And Bill Maher wants you to believe that there are good leftists. There are leftists who are in support of abortion, in support of transgenderism, in support of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And these are just good people. They're just mistaken. They haven't chosen the evil side. I contend, no, they have chosen the evil side. I have sympathy for them. I want them to come out of that. I want them to have the scales taken off their eyes. But this common ground and 90% of the other things we can agree on, I just don't think is true. And I'm not trying to demonize these folks because I'm telling you, I used to think like them in some of these aspects. I used to think the exact same way. But now it's so obvious that these people are controlled by a wickedness that maybe they're not even unaware of. But it's so obvious at this point, I have to say, no, our differences are really, really, really profound. We're not standing on the same foundation of truth. And your foundation of truth is backed by a wickedness and an evilness that's destroying this country. And so I would warn conservatives and people that are pleased by this. what are you really pleased by? Because to me, from the outside, nothing pleases some political conservatives more than affirmation from celebrity leftists. Whenever a simple-minded rapper disavows Biden and supports Trump, it's treated as an epistle. I don't get warm and fuzzy when idiots support Trump. I warm when I see people following the truth wherever it leads. And that's what bothers me about Bill Maher. He's smart. He's way too smart not to be following this truth. He's unwilling to follow the truth wherever it leads. Bill Maher still pretends that January 6th was some sort of threat to democracy. He still pretends that Donald Trump is the second coming of Adolf Hitler. Take a listen.
Some things. We're not exactly aligned on the most important things, which is basically Trump is someone who does not concede elections. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You don't seem to see it that way. That's the most important thing that's going on in this country. He didn't concede the last election. He's not going to concede this election.
You don't know that.
Again, he's an insurrectionist who doesn't believe in democracy, so of course it's bothering me. And of course he's also insane and a criminal and stupid.
Except for that, Bill.
But I gotta say,
No, that's just not, those things aren't based in truth. And he knows that. He's too smart for that. Let's say Trump, and he's calling denying the election the most important thing going on right now. So let's say Trump still believes, justifiably in my opinion, that, hey, there was something fishy about the 2020 election. And what has that stopped? Him thinking that. What has that denied Joe Biden? What has that denied Americans who did vote for Joe Biden? Nothing. No different than Hillary Clinton's denial of the 2016 election. Did that deny Donald Trump his presidency? Or was he not president for those 4 years and Hillary Clinton was free to think whatever she wanted? See, this is a disagreement about fundamental truth. And that is really, really important. And Bill Maher's truth is, in his mind, that denying that an election with America's history of election corruption, his fundamental truth, how dare anyone disagree and claim that the 2020 election had some unusual things like mail-in voting, unprecedented mail-in voting, people not having to show up at the polls because of some COVID pandemic, that we now sit here in 2024 and Bill Maher and other people are like, wow, that COVID pandemic, that wasn't what they said it was. The COVID pandemic feels like a scam so powerful that someone like Bill Maher, watch Bill Maher's show and listen to him talk about health and diet and how seriously he takes his health. And his disdain for people like myself who are overweight, who haven't taken their health as seriously as he has. But he took the alleged vaccine, I didn't. He regrets taking the alleged vaccine. I don't regret not taking the alleged vaccine. His denial of truth, of fundamental foundational truth, is why he took the vaccine and I didn't. My foundational truth is that man is not going to create a pandemic or create anything more powerful than what God created. That's my foundational truth. And so when it came to the alleged pandemic, I was like, well, hold on. God designed an immune system in me, and that if I support it in any way, God and his design will do the rest. That's why I did not take the vaccine. And that's why I started taking my health and diet and exercise far more seriously. Bill Maher, more healthy than me. He got hoodwinked and tricked into taking the vaccine, and he regrets it. He's not standing on foundational truth. Our differences are significant and very profound. And that's why I don't get all warm and fuzzy when he says a few things that I agree with. I'm not taking a dump on Bill Maher. I enjoy his show. I find him tolerable. But the truth is more important than any political affiliation. Bill Maher is not a slave to truth. Maher and leftists have invented a new crime for Donald Trump. Listen to what he's saying. Felony election denial. When Hillary Clinton or a Democrat deny the results of an election, it's a simple misdemeanor. When Trump does it, it's a crime worthy of prison time. Calling Trump an insurrectionist is a flat out lie. It's just a lie. There was no insurrection. There just wasn't. And Bill Maher has to come to grips with this foundational truth. If you call Trump an insurrectionist, you're calling his supporters insurrectionists. You're calling everybody that went to the Capitol on January 6th insurrectionists, and they weren't. They were frustrated voters walking around the Capitol, and they weren't trying to overthrow the election. Were there FBI agents or other government agitators that took this thing to another level? Yes. But there was no insurrection. That's a lie. And this is my problem with Bill Maher. He's taking no real risk here. He's playing both sides. He's found the sweet spot for entertainers and populists. He can smoke weed and party with leftists and proudly tell them he hates Donald Trump. And he can sell comedy show tickets to conservatives and crack jokes about liberals who believe men can get pregnant. The truth, I'm sorry, the truth divides and it bruises. Bill Maher is afraid of being truly divisive, except with one single group, people of religious faith. He's particularly unafraid of Christians because he knows that Christians, we're actually tolerant. We actually practice tolerance. We respect Bill Maher's right to be a greedy idiot. I'm not sure if we should respect his right to be a greedy idiot, but our values make us sympathetic and make us be like, it's America. That guy can say dumb stuff. We're not going to lock him up. We're not going to make him face a special level of persecution or criminal prosecution for being that type of an idiot. But our politicians, both on the left and the right, for those of us with religious faith, for those of us that believe that the Bible is foundational truth, what's happening to us? And I'm not trying to enter the victim Olympics. I'm trying to enter the truth Olympics about what's going on. Republicans and Democrats are passing anti-Semitism laws that will prevent Christians from repeating things written in the Bible. They're calling it hate speech, speech worthy of being incarcerated. This isn't some conspiracy theory. This is going on. Ron DeSantis has been involved in this. We see it in Canada. We see it in some European nations where our speech, biblical, free speech, speech consistent with what's in the Bible, it's being outlawed. Have we done that to them? So there is one group that they're all comfortable being divisive with, and that's Christians, that's believers. And we're locked in. We have to support free speech. I'm not in any way suggesting we should become like them. But I am frustrated and tired of people like Bill Maher taking advantage of our Christian values and tolerance and patience and willingness to let, the truth will be revealed even to all of you that are non-believers. Every knee will bow And so we sit around and say, hey, you want to believe that stupid stuff? One day, you and everybody else that thinks like you're going to have, when the king comes home, or when the king leaves home to come visit us, you're going to have to bow your knee like everybody else. And that makes us tolerant. We don't get that same tolerance from them. We get, laws that say, hey, don't say that. I know that's in the Bible, but you can't say that. It makes someone else uncomfortable. I know a lot of people see what's going on with Bill Maher as a sign of progress and a sign that, hey, capitalism will steer people towards the truth. And it does help. But as I said at the beginning of this, the green pill, if it's not taken in combination with the red pill, and all I mean by red pill is the scales coming off your eyes and a commitment to truth. I'm not talking about Republican or Democrat when I say red pill. I'm talking about, hey, do you want to live in reality and on these foundational truths that have defined the world for years, decades, centuries? Do you want to come back to that, or do you want to continue to live in this world of truth defined by man? And man's truth is always a wet finger and stick it in the air and seeing which way the wind blows. God's truth doesn't care about the wind. It's immovable. It's unshakable. They don't have to rewrite this Bible. And so and I know Bill Maher and other leftists, Whitlock's just a Bible thumper. I'm a truth thumper. And, calling me a Bible thumper that's no kind of insult. Please call me that. It's better than most of the other names you call me. You will not ever, hopefully, ever call me a liar. And so I say, as it relates to Bill Maher, we need to proceed with extreme caution. It's a money play that's going on with Bill Maher. He wants to be a very popular comedian. He's very smart because he's watched all these other guys out from, what's the guy's name? Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. He's watched all the other mainstream leftist comedians torch their career, torch their audience, all in service of the Democrat Party and the wicked Satanists who control them. Bill Maher's out here trying to show them a different way. Hey, you can play both sides while still maintaining your relationship with the left if you just tell lies about Donald Trump. And some of you all will hear this as like, oh, Whitlock's a Trump worshiper. No, I'm a truth. I want to deal with truth and facts. If you guys want to debate Donald Trump and or criticize Donald Trump for Operation Warp Speed in his promotion of the alleged vaccine, I am all for it. Will applaud you and right on, brother, and would love to have you on the show. But if you want to continue to, oh, this guy's Adolf Hitler, oh, he's a dictator, oh, he tried to have an insurrection. No, that's a lie. And I have to reject that. It's all the things going on in these criminal court cases, trying to bring him down over Stormy Daniels. That's a lie. Whatever trumped up deal they got going on with Fani Willis about him calling somebody and saying, I need you to find 11,000 votes, that's a lie. And so I have to reject that. Rip this man for Operation Warp Speed, and you will never hear a word of complaint from me. You want to rip the man for his decorum and for speaking rudely to people. Doesn't bother me nearly as much as it does you, but you won't hear me passionately defending Donald Trump. But when I hear you talk about insurrection, that is a trigger word for me. because it didn't happen. They killed Ashley Babbitt, and they've put innocent, God-fearing, patriotic Americans underneath prisons and jails for nothing. That McAfee guy, his wife, Sarah, who's been on this show, this man was in law enforcement, has a wife and family. They have sentenced this man to years in prison for trying to help people on January the 6th. I can't. Insurrectionist is a trigger word for me. It's laughable. And that's why I watched Bill Maher on Gutfeld's show and say, nah, don't like it. It's a gimmick. It's a money grab. It's a money play. That's my fire starter on Bill Maher. I want to talk to you guys about one of our great sponsors. And when I come back, I'm going to hop into a discussion about Cameron and what I saw on CNN. But before we do all that, I want to make sure you guys are getting the fruits and vegetables in your diet. That's so important. I'm doing it with Balance of Nature. It's very hard for the average American or the average person to eat even half of the recommended servings of fruits and vegetables in a day. But you can get it all with Balance of Nature. It can help you with inflammation. It can help you in so many different ways. Balance of Nature's proprietary blend of 31 fruits and vegetables come in easy to swallow capsules and will give your body so much of the nourishment it needs. Imagine trying to eat 31 different kinds of produce in a single day. That's nearly impossible. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies. When you go to balanceofnature.com, you'll get 35% off plus $10 off any additional sets with your first order as a preferred customer by using my discount code FEARLESS. That's limited to 5 sets, but you'll save a ton of money while getting the fruits and vegetables you need in your diet. Go to balanceofnature.com and use the promo code FEARLESS for 35% off. This is something me and my family, particularly my mother, I told you guys, my mother, long before it became the craze that it has. I'm talking about going back to the 70s. That's why my mother is 85 years old. Her mind is sharp. She's still getting around. She's still living on her own because she's been taking care of herself. And part of her routine is Balance of Nature. She's made it part of my routine as well. It's helping me. It can help you. Balanceofnature.com. Use my promo code FEARLESS for 35% off. I'll be back and we'll be talking about Cameron next. Do you know how you're going to spend the first day of Pride Month? I know how I'm going to spend it. Honoring God, my Lord and Savior, fellowshipping with other men who are concerned about the direction of this country. I'm going to spend it right here in Nashville, Tennessee, leading Roll Call 2.0 alongside country music star John Rich. John and I have partnered on this annual event to inspire men to live up to their biblical responsibility of leadership. John's going to sing, I'm going to speak, so is Blaze founder Glenn Beck. We've invited basketball coaches, football players, singers, successful entrepreneurs, North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, Pastor E.W. Jackson, author Vince Everett Ellison, and contributors of the Fearless Army to speak and fellowship with us. You can join us in Nashville June 1, or you can celebrate Pride Month. It's your choice. To join us, visit fearlessarmyrollcall.com and reserve your spot. But they're all like, man, look at that light around Whitlock and his crew. I want to be a part of that.
So which of you fine gentlemen would like to join our team?
And so you look and say, oh, I disagree with this person and I think their religion is a heresy.
Shame. Shame.
And I look and say, let me turn my light up so they can see what's fueling me and make it so attractive that I want some of that.
I want that.
And so Prestia or whoever wrote the piece,
Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
kiss my butt. Welcome back. I forgot one other thing I wanted to show you. Bill Maher and these games and tricks he's playing on you guys, and so I wanted to show you all the clip of Bill Maher talking about Harrison Butker, the Chiefs kicker that's been in the news. And I'm going to get the camera on here in a second, but I wanted to, I totally slipped my mind. I wanted to cover it because, again, I worked in Kansas City for 16 years as a sports columnist, covered the Chiefs. And this Harrison Butker thing is very important. And so here's Bill Maher pretending, in my view, to be a Harrison Butker supporter. Play the clip.
There's a guy in the news named Harrison Butker. I can't express how much this guy is not like me. He's religious. He loves marriage. He loves kids. He said, some of you, talking to the women here, some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world. Okay, that seems fairly modern. But I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I don't see what the big crime is. I really don't. And I think this is part of the problem people have with the left, is that lots of people in this country are like this. Like he's saying, some of you may go on to lead successful careers, but a lot of you are excited about this other way that everybody used to be. And now can't that just be a choice too?
So that all sounds great, but to me, it's the green pill. It's all about money. It's all about Bill knowing his audience, knowing what other comedians are leaving on the table. Because here's the shoe that I've been asking to drop as it relates to Bill Maher and all of this pretending that he sees both sides of issues. At some point, if he wants to legitimize what he's actually saying, Bill Maher needs to say, hey, look, I'm an atheist. I'm going to remain an atheist, but I have to acknowledge that Christian culture is superior to secular culture. That's all I want him to say. Because trust me, he knows it. And so he'll throw out these little things where, hey, look, Harrison Butker, what he said isn't that crazy. But he's cutting off the logic there and not taking the extra step of realizing the reason why he keeps talking about the woke left is because the woke left, in his line of thinking, that secular mindset, is infringing on his freedom. It's the reason he took the jab. He doesn't believe in the vaccine. He never believed in the vaccine, but his allegiance to the political left convinced him to take something he didn't believe in. What could be more wicked than that? And this is why I keep talking about this is a battle of good versus evil. Anything that convinces you to support things you do not believe in and to do things you do not believe in, that is rooted in wickedness. Do you understand the mindset I'm talking about? And I know many of you, you're such avid Democrats. That's your real religion. And Bill doesn't know he's a part of a religious cult. Because someone that takes their health and what they put into their body, other than weed, as seriously as Bill Maher, why would he take the vaccine? I watched this play out in real time. He never once believed in the alleged vaccine, but he took it out of a religious obligation. No different than all the people that were involved with Jim Jones, that cult leader, drank that cyanide out of a religious obligation. Bill's a part of the secular religion, and they were all taking the vaccine. And so he took it. And he's reluctant to admit that, hey, you know what? These Christians, they have a set of convictions, the real ones, that they will not violate. And that those with those convictions will take real risk and say, you know what? Screw this job. God will provide. I'm not taking this vaccine. There are legitimate Christians that will say, you know what? I'm not going to get a promotion on my job because I'm not going to bend the knee to the alphabet mafia. I'm not going to throw away my religious beliefs and run around and pretend like the LGBTQ are some sacred group of people that must be worshiped, and I must affirm everything that they think. There are some people willing to take that risk and say, if this costs me my job, my promotion, if I'm banished to a low-level position in my corporation because I will not bend the knee to the alphabet mafia, they do it. But here's Bill Maher, doesn't believe in the alleged vaccine. He did it because he's in the cult. See, I'm not going to pretend, and as I've told you all, involved in an abortion myself. Not again, and I don't say this to distance myself. I impregnated a friend of mine. She had an abortion without my knowledge. That's me being involved in an abortion. I'm not exonerated in that case. But I'm not going to justify it. I'm not going to pretend like that it was okay to be involved, to play any role in the murder of a child. And this, when I start talking about an authenticity as it relates to Bill Maher and these other leftists, they won't go there. They won't follow the truth wherever it leads. He's praising Harrison Butker without affirming the truth that he's standing on. Why is Harrison Butker willing to deal with the blowback? He's a kicker. He could just kick the football, make $4 or $5 million a year, win Super Bowls, and live a very quiet life. Why is he out here standing on his beliefs, knowing the blowback that it's going to take, that he's going to take? He's going to put him and his wife and kids through a headache because he's willing to stand on some truth. And Bill Maher is not willing, and none of these leftists, and many of the people claiming a Christian faith, claiming to be conservatives, they won't stand on these truths. They won't take real risks. They won't affirm publicly, hey, these Christian values work far better than any of these other secular values. Won't affirm that. That's why I'm suspicious of Bill Maher. Before I get into Cameron, I want to talk to you guys. This is a perfect segue to talk about Jase Medical. Because the reason why I'm so big on Jase Medical, I'm just going to cut right to the chase, is because if you get involved with Jase Medical, they will provide you EpiPens and ivermectin. It's a life-saving emergency health kit. Includes all these antibiotics. You need to take your medical health and your health into your own hands. Don't rely on the government. Don't rely on government regulations. Jase Medical allows you to do that. It will empower you. It will give you the things you need. If all hell breaks loose, like it could during this election cycle, and you need certain medicines and antibiotics to survive, your Jase Medical Kit will provide that for you, and it includes EpiPens. And again, the big sales point for me is ivermectin, because I lived this experience during COVID. I was lucky. I was blessed that I had a doctor, Dr. Zelensky, who provided me ivermectin and knocked my COVID out, boom, like nothing. And this was at a time when people were getting crushed. Oh, ivermectin is a horse drug. And you had all the talk show hosts, everybody in corporate media, oh, that's for horses, don't take it. They were trying to kill, basically, people. Hey, you should die of COVID rather than take this prescription drug that clearly saves people's lives. And so Jase Medical allows you to take your health into your own hands and have all the provisions you need when all hell breaks loose. Or when, the government starts saying, hey, no, you can't take that. That could save your life and we want you dead. That's why you need a Jase Medical kit. Go to jasemedical.com, enter my promo code FEARLESS at checkout for a discount on your order. That's promo code FEARLESS at jasemedical.com. Jase Medical, take your health into your own hands. So, sorry I had to get that last point in about Bill Maher before I moved on to Cam'ron. Cam'ron is the rapper that was with Jay-Z and Rockefeller Records in the 90s. He's now a popular podcaster with Mace. I think he and Mace kind of grew up in the same neighborhood. Mace was with Puffy and, Bad Boy Records back in the day. Mace has some religious convictions, I believe, that made him kind of walk away from rap. But now they do this debaucherous, humorous podcast. It Is What It Is, I think is what it's called. Anyway, Cam'ron has a history of being invited onto political talk shows. Not sure why. Most people, again, I'm old enough. I think Cam'ron's like 48 years old. I'm old enough to remember his music. I don't remember it. He's like a lot of these rappers, dime a dozen guys, installed by the agents of chaos that they've platformed and pedestaled all these different rappers for God knows what, to promote a nihilistic worldview. Anyway, CNN yesterday had Cam'ron on. I think the woman's name is Abby Phillips. And they had him on to talk about Diddy. Diddy released the video of Diddy beating up his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Diddy, I believe, over the weekend or Sunday maybe, comes out with his apology video that's not much of an apology. And so CNN had Cam'ron on because, he's a rapper. And, hey, let's bring a rapper on and get him to talk about Diddy. Let's play the clip.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint. I'm just going off what Mace said. Mace took me to Biggie. I don't really know Puffers like Mace know Puff. So I appreciate what Mace said, and of course, that's my brother, so if he felt that way, then he felt that way. I can't really tell you how Puff moves or anything like that. Mace may know better than me because he was signed to Puff, I wasn't. But my show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is, and y'all make sure y'all check it out. I mean, I might get some more information out of Mace from there, but for me to tell you how Puff act and all that, I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah. What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I don't be sitting
Cameron,
around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
thanks,
man, come on, man.
Thanks for
crazy,
joining
man.
us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You enjoy.
So that was Cam'ron making a fool of CNN, making a fool of that reporter, Abby Phillips. Some people find it hilarious. Other people are outraged and talking about what an idiot Cameron is. Cameron is an idiot, and his behavior outrageous. That's his brand. That's what most of these rappers from age 17 when they sign a deal to age 45, 50, he just behaved how rappers behave. And they're, oh, well, Jay-Z doesn't behave that way. He does. Jay-Z, just with his hairstyle and his whole appearance and his music, he's a minstrel show. They're all a minstrel show. All of them. All the rappers since about 1990, in their prime, all of them promote a minstrel show mentality. CNN should not be surprised by his behavior. He did exactly what he was hired and installed to do. For those of you that don't speak Ebonic gibberish, when he took the little drink of his little, they call it horsepower, I think pink horsepower, it's some sort of liquid Viagra. And so for those of you that don't speak Ebonic gibberish, he said something about, yeah, I'm gonna get some cheeks after this. And what he meant by that is, I'm gonna have sex after this. I'm taking this drink because I'm going to have sex after this. By cheeks, now, because it's rap, we're not sure if he's talking about a man or a woman. I'm gonna presume he's talking about a woman when he says cheeks, but when it comes to rap, you never know. These guys swing every which direction possible. But that behavior, no one at CNN should be surprised. He was placed on the platform to do exactly what he did. There was no expectation that he was going to have a serious interview. And this is my problem with hip hop, and this is my problem with corporate media. Could they, hey, let me invite someone on who will have a serious conversation with me about Diddy? No, let me invite a clown on, act surprised that a clown acted like a clown, and then this clip will go viral, and everybody will say, there go the bad guy. Look at Cameron, black dude, idiot, buffoon. That's how they all act. This is a choice. And young people are watching. And young people know, like, oh, that's how you get on TV. That's how you become famous if you're a black man. That's how you get to be on CNN or any of these other shows if you act a fool. And so Cameron did exactly what he has been trained to do, what he's been incentivized to do. He's a buffoon. He's a paid clown. He's man tan and eat and sleep. If you've ever seen Spike Lee's movie, Bamboozled, back when Spike Lee used to make movies that were legitimate before he got on the clown show. He did a movie called Bamboozled. The stars were two characters named Mantan and Eat and Sleep, and they came on and pretended to be minstrels for the benefit of a large audience who celebrated, both black and white people. That's what Cameron's doing. And I want to show you, like, he's got a long history. He's got a 20-year history of doing exactly this. I want to show you just a brief clip of Cameron years ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, on TV with Bill O'Reilly, he and Dame Dash, playing the buffoon role. Once again, play the clip.
You're looking at a principle.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad. Where'd you start? Current affair, right?
No, wrong.
Well,
you're looking
I got
at a
dirt on you, doggy.
Cameron,
I'm going to get at you in a minute.
You go ahead, you get at
I'm going to get at you in a minute.
Listen, you guys. If the principal tells you that there are children in his school, Cameron, who are being adversely affected by your music, do you care?
I care, but you got to talk to their parents.
What if they don't have good parents?
While they're in school, they have to have parents to be in school. Somebody send them to school.
No, they don't have good parents.
Well, listen, if that's the case, homeboy, whoever's in my ear on the television, you need to have parent-teacher conferences with your students. Whether it's their aunt, their cousin, their sister, somebody send these kids to school. They're not 11 years old staying home by themselves. I can't go home and talk to these students at night. You need to have more parent-teacher conferences if you have a problem with your students.
All right, let him
See, that's a classic irresponsible response. This is a man running away from responsibility and accountability. Hey, my endeavors, the things that I do, I'm not responsible for. No matter what filth I pour into the universe, it's up to you as a parent to weed out that filth. I'm not responsible. If I sell drugs in your neighborhood, I'm not responsible for that. Blame the users. I wouldn't sell this filth in your neighborhood if there weren't users in your neighborhood who wanted this filth. See, he's not responsible, and this is the prison mentality, the irresponsible mentality that the music industry and corporate America promotes, and they're promoting it to everyone. But again, as I've said countless times, the lab rats for their demonic mindset starts with black people. And so we're the lab rats for it, and we see the results. And so this is Cameron 20 years ago saying, hey man, I'm just gonna pour filth out into the universe, and you parents, you gotta clean it up. You look, I know that you're single parents, I know that you're overworked, I know that I'm making it harder for you, but it's not my responsibility. I just sell this lyrical pornography, and I know that kids like it and ingest it and make it a part of their worldview, but hey, it's your job to clean it up. That's a man who wants no responsibility for his behavior. And he's not, and again, that mindset, what he's talking about, that mindset bleeds into every aspect of his life. Oh, I stuck my unprotected penis inside of a woman, impregnated her. Hey, that's her body. That's her responsibility. I'm not responsible. That child I can walk away from. It's not my responsibility. It's your job to clean up the mess that I made. That's the mentality. And again, this is why I blame CNN. This is why I blame the music industry. This is why I blame corporate America. They're perfectly fine promoting that mentality and constantly bringing on clowns who will promote that mentality and platforming them as they're the mainstream, they're the celebrities, they're the icons your kids should follow. And then when the kids do follow that mindset, that rapper then has to say, hey, look, man, I'm just doing a gimmick. I'm just doing what the CIA or whoever put the battery in my back told me to do. I'm not responsible. You parents, clean up my mess. One of the most irresponsible, one of the most unmanly things you will ever see. And people can go watch It Is What It Is and giggle and laugh and, you know, Cameron and Mace, oh, this is great. But they're promoting an emasculated prison mentality. And CNN, Abby Phillip, they knew exactly what they were doing. I want to show you another example. This is 60 Minutes and Anderson Cooper years ago, maybe 18, 17 years ago. They had Cameron on 60 Minutes like he was someone important, like he had rapped about something important. Play the clip.
If you had seen who shot you, would you have told police?
No.
Why?
Because the type of business I'm in, it would definitely hurt my business. And the way that I was raised, I just don't do that. I was raised differently, not to tell.
If there's a serial killer living next door to you, though, and you know that person is, killing people, would you be a snitch if you called police and told them?
If I knew the serial killer was living next door to me?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't call and tell anybody on him, but I'll probably move. Like, I'm not going to be around because...
See, he's on 60 Minutes because he was driving a Lamborghini, someone tried to carjack him, shot him, and that's his claim to fame. And so, oh my God, here's a rapper, here's a guy that does lyrical pornography, that got shot. Let's have him on 60 Minutes. Let's make him an even bigger star. These forces, these wicked, secular, demonic forces, they all work together. That's Anderson Cooper, a soldier, a high-ranking soldier in the Alphabet Mafia, working in partnership with a high-ranking soldier in the black idolatry, prison culture mentality, the sexually fluid prison culture mentality. You see the synergy, how they work together? Alphabet Mafia soldier Anderson Cooper working with someone raised with a prison sexually fluid mentality. Hey, let's have them on 60 Minutes and let's have a conversation where Anderson Cooper is there selling the alphabet agenda and Cameron is there selling the prison agenda. So think about the prison agenda and the alphabet agenda and how they're peanut butter and jelly. And so he's been going on TV and putting out records that promote a prison mentality for decades. No one remembers his music. Everybody, he's got a podcast now. Now that no one cares about him as a rapper, they've now transitioned him into, hey, let's do this funny podcast. It is what it is, you and Mace, and let's sell the prison mentality, sexually fluid mentality through this podcast. And CNN and Anderson Cooper, that was 60 Minutes. He's doing that for CBS. But they're all the same. CNN, CBS, the whole nine, the whole media industrial complex. They all work together for their wicked ends. These are the partners. Alphabet rappers. Diddy. What does Diddy do? What are they even talking about? His violence towards women, his potential sex trafficking, his potential abuse of young people, the violation of young people sexually. This is all one big cabal. It's so easy to see. And it's been going on for decades. And if you take the scales off your eyes and just accept what they're telling you, what they've made crystal clear, the partnership and the alliance, then you won't have any more questions. You won't, hey, why did CNN have Cameron on? And why? Think this through. Just think it through. Look at connect the dots. What's he doing there with Abby Phillips? What did he take a drink of? Do it in a pronounced fashion. What did he say? I'm going to go get some cheeks after this. Where do you think this cheeks thing came from? He didn't say, hey, I'm going to go make love to my wife, my girlfriend, a woman I'm dating. He said, I'm going to go get some cheeks after this. That's why I'm taking this horsepower. Cheeks. How do you think they talk in prison? I'm going to get some cheeks. This is 20 years later, still on the same deal. What's the connect? And look, I'm not going to, Bill O'Reilly in his interview was, trying to have a debate between someone, seemed like an African-American black man that's like, hey man, this rap music thing, it's out of control. It's hurting our kids. Kids know the lyrics to every one of these songs. It's damaging their mentality. It's sexualizing them at an early age. Bill O'Reilly was trying to put that man's perspective. Hey, let's talk to a rap music executive and a rapper, Dame Dash and Cameron, and let them answer the questions from this responsible, upstanding educator who has questions about rap music. That's slightly different, and not slightly, it's different than what Anderson Cooper's doing, what Abby Phillips is doing. But acting like there's two sides to this story. These guys are lyrical pornographers. They promote pornography. They promote sexual fluidity coming straight from the prison mentality. That's why, and again, you heard the man say, I was raised, this is in his interview with Anderson Cooper, I was raised in an environment where we don't talk to police. That's a prison mentality. You get killed in prison for cooperating with correctional officers, for being a snitch. And then, so that's what he's promoting, a prison mentality with his 60 Minutes interview. The man is famous for having been shot. This man has no classic songs. And I'm not saying that no one ever danced to any of his music and none of it wasn't slightly popular or relatively popular. But this isn't one of the rap legends. This is someone they put on 60 Minutes because he got shot and he was there to represent a prison mentality. I don't care if I got shot. I'm not telling the police who shot me. It doesn't matter. If I lived next door to a serial killer, I wouldn't snitch. I wouldn't talk. I'd just move. That's promotion of a mentality to young people. He's celebrated. He's got all this money. All the women like him. Promotion of a prison mentality. And so here we are in 2024, and the man's on national TV on CNN. Hey, I'm taking this drink because I'm going to get some cheeks after this. And he don't care. When you just want cheeks, you don't care who cheeks they are. You don't care whether it's Dylan Mulvaney or J-Lo. You just want some cheeks. He's promoting sexual fluidity. And everybody will laugh, and everybody's going to love It Is What It Is, and everybody's going to watch his podcast, and Whitlock's making too much of it, and I'll be the bad guy for telling you what these depraved, secular, demonic entertainers from Anderson Cooper to Abby Phillips to Cameron, they're all in on it together. That's today's show. Hop in the comments, tell me what you think. We'll play tomorrow, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Waiting for the countdown, coming off the breakdown, standing in line for freedom. Looking for a breakout, feeling like a standoff, nothing in life like freedom. Came like a fighter, striking like a ladder, making all these moves for freedom. I want freedom. No negotiation, my sister, no relation. We all just wanna have freedom. Sitting on a corner, never been alone. I'm breaking my back for freedom. Blessed, we are living, get back. We are receiving, all deceiving. We all wanna be free. We want freedom. I wanna